And welcome to another episode of Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show.
I've always loved trains. When I was a little girl, one of the we had a weekend getaway trip once. You know, we only took one major vacation when I was a kid, and that was to the Smokies.
In your entire childhood?
My entire childhood.
Yeah.
My family couldn't afford vacations.
Right.
And so we would just hang out with cousins all summer, which was glorious to me.
Was the Smoky vacation a bust and therefore you never did them again, or was it the
No,
money
it was
issue?
fabulous.
Oh.
Happiest memories of my life on that vacation. And some not so good car memories, but still. But one weekend we took a train ride, you know, to another city and spent the day, and then we rode the train
Was this
back.
the 1840s?
You could still take a train ride
I
today,
know.
Sam, and
Yeah, I
it'd be
know.
something cool for your children because maybe they've never been on a train. Murphy and I have been talking about doing that forever with the girls.
Well, and we rode the one at Dollywood.
Here we go again.
I'm talking about that
That's
one.
a real coal-burning train.
There was actual
That goes in a circle.
there was actual coal coming out of it. Like, close your eyes.
Yeah, they
'cause,
said,
like,
watch out for the cinders.
Seriously. That was
That's
different.
old school.
I'm not talking about a coal burning train, but like anyway.
Well, they do still have those that you can ride for an excursion.
I didn't know that. Okay. Anyway,
But you got to watch out for the cinders.
Yeah, and they're not the most eco-friendly either, right?
I've always liked trains. I rode a train once to visit a friend when I was in college because I couldn't afford an airplane ticket. How about that's a country song?
You know,
but I did.
So, honestly, other than Dollywood, I've never ridden on a real train.
What? On the real train, you can take a nap,
I've
and
never
then,
ridden
then you can
Amtrak.
go to the cargo car and have lunch.
Just like at Dollywood.
It's fun. You get to.
So-
It's real. You would like it because you get where you need to go, but you can chill out. It's not like being tight like
And
with
you're not driving.
in a flight. You can laugh, but it's actually cool.
I know.
It's different and cool.
Yeah, I know that. It's the only train I've been on. It goes in a circle and back in time. Apparently, that's it. But I do
Anyway.
want to do that. I've always wanted to ride like on a double decker, train. I want us to be in a.
Okay.
They've
You'll
got
be James Bond.
We got a friend of ours, Rod, who says, "Man, the only way to travel by train is in a sleeper cabin. I guess
Huh.
where you
Get
have
a
your own
little room.
private place." And but I've never done any of that either.
It's so cool. And if you need to work on the way to something, you can do that easier than a plane because a plane is crowded to me. I guess first class isn't crowded. But anyway, God, long story. Long story. The reason I bring it up in the first place is that we now, Murphy, live very close to train tracks since we moved.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, this is the reason the house was on the market for a year, for a whole year before anybody bought it.
So you're the ones that live across the tracks.
It's close. And what's funny is that Murphy's dear friend Randy lives on the other end of this street. So we live close to a friend now, which is kind of really cool. And he said, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
And because the first night when I was sleeping on the wrong side of the bed anyway,
Yeah.
that sucker came through at 1:41 in the morning. And did it not sound like our window was open? It was so
Actually, I was
loud.
looking outside to see if I could see the headlight. It sounded like it was coming straight toward me.
Bailey, you don't live too far from this area.
Oh,
we
no,
kind
but
of
I know
moved-
the train you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2
la-
o'clock in the morning every
Last
day.
night it
Yeah.
was 1:36 because I look at my phone when I get awakened. I always look straight to my clock.
But, even though it's definitely loud, but I go right back to sleep. It does not really faze
Good.
me.
That's
I mean,
good.
but Sam, I can't tell you how many times when people say, where are you moving? We tell them the street name. They go, oh, you're by the railroad track. yes, we hear the train. We do hear the train.
I do like it, though. I do like it. I'm just waiting. I'm wondering how long it'll take me to get used to the sound of it. Phoebe's kind of mad about it. She's 14, and her room is at the front of the house. I mean, she could, if there weren't woods across the street, and on the other side of the woods or train is the train track, she could see it. She'd be looking at the train.
Oh, and you can remind her she picked out her room.
Are you close enough to feel it? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Now, look, Jody's grandfather actually lives
His
really
backyard.
by. Yeah, so when the train goes by his house, you definitely feel that in his
gotta
house.
hold on
They're
to the
used to it.
silverware.
Right, but it's a rumble. If he doesn't blow the horn, I can tell there's a train going by.
But
yeah.
he blows the horn. He does because there's so many streets he has to alert.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering how long it'll take me to get used to it because truly, once you're used to something
Yeah.
like that, isn't it interesting how the human mind is?
It'll work
I
its
won't
way into
even
your
hear
dream.
it. I won't even hear it. It's so cool. I did also take the dogs on their first walk yesterday afternoon, even though I needed to be unpacking. I just felt like I needed to do that. I needed the break. They need it. Yeah. They have a nice, great, big backyard and a deck now, so they're spoiled.
The dogs needed a break?
They need a walk, I mean. I needed a break from packing, and they need a walk. They do need daily exercise.
Jody again humanizing the dogs. Yeah. Man, this has been stressful for the animals.
I've got to get out of this yard.
That's not what I meant. Anyway, I took them on a walk. And
oh, by the way, they don't care about the train. in case you were wondering.
You missed it. No, Champ does.
Oh, does he really?
A train came by. 2 things happened on this walk.
Are these trains passing constantly?
It was
almost.
It was a lot yesterday. So I go over to the left. There's a bridge. There's a bridge that goes over a creek, and so I go over the bridge. And I noticed there's a hole. You don't notice that when you're driving, but there's a perfectly round, somebody carved it out hole in the bridge on the road. Did you know that?
No.
You wouldn't notice it in a car. It's about the size of the top of a coffee cup.
Okay.
And so I'm walking across the bridge and back, and Stella's behind me being a lazy pit. And what I hear, clunk, of course, her foot.
Oh, no.
So I got to watch her around the hole. And we're headed. She's not stupid.
The whole bridge, and you're going to find the tiny hole.
She didn't see it because she's busy being a dog, looking and smelling.
Running from
her
the
back
train.
leg just slipped in the hole, my baby. So the other thing is I get closer to our house, and I hear the train coming, and towards the house, you can see the train, and Champ, our old big, lab alpha dog, he was interested in it. I mean, think about how loud it is to us. It's triple loud to them with their dog ears. So he'll get used to it.
I guess I didn't think about that. You're right.
So he was interested in it. He was like, what's this?
Yeah. Who wants to go for a walk now? Huh?
Well, they can't really see it. It's actually kind of brilliant if you think about this, because if you look at it, it's the train tracks across the street from our house, then a line of trees so that you can't see the train tracks. Then there's a piece of vacant land with a for sale sign on it, which we'll probably never sell because it's right next to the train tracks, right? And then us. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, but where I was walking toward, he could see it, the little piece of it. So it was interesting.
So
anyway.
Did he step in the hole?
No, he did not. Neither did I. But I'm looking for my favorite tree, and I haven't found it yet.
You need to Google train schedules and see if you can find it.
So we need to know exactly.
Plan on when it's going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
This baby's coming right now. I'm sure there's like GPS
you know what?
or something like
you
that.
just told him that. Now he's going to become train schedule obsessed.
Yeah.
Yay, Murph.
Yeah, well, there's that. Or do you see yourself building like a sound barrier in some point in the future? Is it that bad?
No,
this
like
thing
it.
is so loud. I mean, other than actually plugs in the ear, I don't think that there is a sound barrier you could build. Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. I'm happy to get used to it. In other words, I like the sound of it. Like I said, when we started this podcast, I've always liked trains. I think they're cool. They're romantic. They're mysterious. They're
at 1:30 in the morning.
Well, and the funny thing to me about this is Jodi actually is now completely accurate and correct when she always said I could sleep through a train.
you can.